What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on the Texas Rangers Report. And if this is your first time watching the channel, make sure to subscribe right now because I'm your #1 source for all things Texas Rangers on YouTube. And if you're on Discord, make sure to join the Discord. That link will be in the description down below. So MLB Pipeline has just released their top 100 prospect rankings, and I'm pretty sure they'll be releasing their new system rankings as well. But MLB Pipeline has listed 5 Texas Rangers within their top 100. And honestly, this isn't that shocking to see because we had 5 prospects in the top 100 last year. And it basically consists of the same prospects with the exception of one person getting kicked off the list and one newcomer on the list. So let me just go down and let me just say, this all has to do with our recent success in the first round. Majority of the guys that are on this list are from our first round draft choices. And I think it has to go with the new philosophy that the Rangers have adopted in the first round, which is going after college players from Power 5 schools. So could that mean we go after another college guy, a college bat, perhaps? Or maybe our whole draft philosophy changes this year. We will see, but let me go down the list. So obviously, our first overall prospect in the system is none other than Jack Leiter. We drafted him in the first round this year with the second overall draft choice, obviously because we were the second worst team in the league last year. The Pirates had the first selection. They decided to go under slot and select Henry Davis, the catcher from Louisville. But honestly, Jack Leiter is he's looking really good in minor league camp so far. He was an ace at Vanderbilt, as we all know. And honestly, I think he has the chance to start at AA this year, right off out of the gate. I think he can get all the way to AAA. I think if the Rangers wanted to push him, he could go and start in the majors, but I don't think it's necessary. Hopefully we get another starter so our prospects don't get exposed early on. But I think he could make a major league push towards the end of this year. I don't think it will happen. I just think talent-wise he could. But 2023 is when we should expect him. Number 2 on this list, another first-round draft choice, is Josh Young, the third baseman from Texas Tech. We drafted him with the 8th overall selection back in 2019. And obviously we know he had the injury on his non-throwing shoulder, thank goodness. But he will be out most of the year. So that kind of sucks because he could have been our opening day third baseman. Obviously because we traded IKF. But now it looks like it could be a platoon with Brad Miller and Andy Ibanez and maybe Nick Solak. I'm not too sure what they will do at third base. I think the platoon with those trio makes the most sense. But I heard that Chris Woodward says Brad Miller would probably get most of his reps in the outfield. But then again, he also said IKF is going to be the starter hands down, and then the next day he gets traded. But getting back to Josh Young, I think whenever he gets back to being healthy, hopefully he can put his injuries in the past. I think he's definitely our third baseman of the future with a plus hit tool, and hopefully he can tap into some of his raw power. Third on this list, another first round draft choice back in 2018. However, this changes the draft philosophy kind of before we did the switch. A high schooler, Cole Winn, right-handed pitcher. He was in the Futures All-Star game last year with another first-round pick, Cole Reagans, but he's not really looking like the best prospect. But Cole Winn, I think this can be an interesting duo with Jack Leiter and Cole Winn. I fully believe these guys can be aces at the major league level. And I honestly think that Cole Winn will make his major league debut this year because he needs to be added to the 40-man roster this offseason. So it only makes sense to maybe call him up to the major league roster by September, for September call-up. See what you have in Cole Winn at the major league level, and then he can compete for an opening day roster spot come spring training in 2023. But your starting rotation in 2023 can look pretty good because obviously I do believe that it'll be Jack Leiter and Cole Winn in the starting rotation for sure. hopefully no injuries. And then you have John Gray. I mean, maybe Dane Dunning. I mean, he's still team controllable. You have some prospects, but there are a lot of good free agents in the market as well. Mike Clevenger, Joe Musgrove, Noah Syndergaard. And we all know that the Rangers are always active in the trade market. So I think there's a lot of possibilities, and I think that is a really good timetable to start competing for a pennant. So Cole Winn coming in as a 3rd ranked prospect for the Rangers and a top 100 prospect on MLB.com. 4th, Justin Foscue, our 2020 first round pick. One guy I wasn't so high on, mainly because he was a second baseman. I'm like, we could have drafted Kay Cavalli, who is a really good prospect for the Nationals. That wouldn't have been a bad draft pick at all, because then we would have had 3 really good right-handed pitchers. But Justin Foscue, ranked at Hickory last year. He got called up to AA, didn't do as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where he started this year, and then he worked his way up to AAA. But this is a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he did get traded towards the trade deadline if we're doing well, because we have so many middle infielders. And he does seem like the odd man out, in my opinion, because we have obviously Seager for the next 10 years, Simeon for the next 7. So our middle infield prospects are just going to have to play better, but obviously those contracts are going to say otherwise, or they're just going to have to learn other positions. But obviously, it's nice to see the return on investment in Justin Foscue. I mean, his main calling card's his hit tool and his power, but it's really nice to see Justin Foscue play well. And then 5th on this list, this is where there's turnover. It used to be Sam Huff last year, and he used to be a lot higher on MLB.com. I think they have him as the 60th ranked prospect back in the day. But he's fallen off the board. Like, he used to be the 2nd ranked prospect in the Rangers system. I think this goes to show that the Rangers system has gotten better. But obviously, I think Sam Huff, with his injuries, has fallen off the rankings a little bit. But replacing Sam Huff in the top 100 is Ezekiel Duran, the infielder, second baseman / shortstop that we got in the Joey Gallo trade. I think this Joey Gallo trade is looking better every single day. I mean, the Yankees, I'm sure the Steinbrenners still want him, but the fans don't. Duran, a top 100 according to MLB.com, he raked whenever he came over to the Rangers. Well, he raked all year in the minors, and he continued to rake with the Rangers. Josh Smith looks promising. He could be in the majors with the Rangers later this year. If Duran rakes the entire year, he could end up being in the majors because he is on the 40-man roster. That could be exciting. For some reason, I feel like Foscue's more tradable. I really don't think we'll be trading Duran since we just got him. Glenn Otto looks promising. He could compete for that 5th spot in the rotation. And Trevor Hauver, an interesting bat as well. So those are our top 5. Jack Leiter, first round pick in 2021. Josh Young, first round pick in 2019. Cole Winn, our first round pick in 2018. Justin Foscue, our first round pick in 2020. And Ezekiel Duran, who we got in the Joey Gallo trade this summer. Let me know who you think should be on this list. I know a lot of you guys are fans of Luis Angel Acuna. I don't think he should be on this list. Maybe next year if he balls out. Dustin Harris is an interesting guy. Not a lot of people knew him before this year, but he balled out. He's, I think, 8th on the first base prospect ranking. Maybe if he balls out again in AA, he'll most definitely be on this list. But going to another note, spring training starts tomorrow for the Texas Rangers. Jake Latz will be on the mound. It'll be nice just to see our major league players get in game action. It's been a while. Let's just hope that, I'm not really looking too much at the stats. I'm just hoping that everybody gets through and healthy, because obviously if our main guys get hurt, that's going to suck. Obviously for guys like Seager and Simeon, if they strike out twice in the game, I'm not too worried because those guys are all-stars. They're going to be able to figure it out. But it's just going to be exciting. Jake Latz will be on the mound, and obviously you'll see other players get action as well. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, because I'm your #1 source for all things Rangers. With that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.